Hey y'all, it's Amanda, and today we are outside. It's going to be 104 degrees today, but I'm out here early in the morning, and basically it's too hot to garden. So I wanted to talk about what can you do now in your garden when it's positively boiling outside. So we've hit the time of year where it is officially too hot to garden outside, and it's brutal. We're hitting triple degree temps. The plants are stressed. I'm stressed. And honestly, there are days when the last thing I want to do is spend hours working in the garden outside in the heat. But that doesn't mean that gardening has to stop. So there are actually quite a few things we can do right now, mostly from the comfort of air conditioning, that will set us up for an incredible fall garden. So if you're looking outside at your garden thinking, I'll see you again in October, here are a few things that you can do instead. Okay, first up on the list, do the bare minimum outside. And that is my current goal for the month of August. I don't do a lot of gardening outside in the month of August. It's just so brutal. Give yourself permission to stop trying to make the garden perfect, because it's just not possible at this time of the year. Right now, the goal can be simply maintenance and survival. And that is usually my goal during the summer with my summer garden. For a lot of people, summer is a massive growing season for their garden. It is not for me. Spring and kind of our fake fall, those are my gardening season. My summer is so brutal that all I'm trying to do is get my plants to survive. So at this time of the year, I'm prioritizing watering, harvesting vegetables, cutting flowers, removing anything that is diseased, quick pest control, and checking containers. And that's about it. Everything else can probably wait at this point. This is not the time that I'm reorganizing flower beds or deciding I suddenly need to move a hydrangea. My goal right now is to simply keep things alive. Okay, number 2 on the list, take a really good look at your watering. This is key for this time of the year. If there is one garden chore worth doing in the extreme heat, it's making sure your watering system is actually working. So that's been our big deal. My husband and I have been going around checking all our drip irrigation, making sure everything's good. So I'm checking drip irrigation, I'm checking sprinkler heads, I'm checking soaker hoses, and I'm checking emitters and timers, making sure everything is working really, really well at this time of the season. I'm looking for areas that aren't quite getting enough water. They might look drier or more crispy and brown than other areas. Sometimes we assume a plant is struggling because of the heat, when in actuality, it's simply that it's not getting enough water in that location. This is also a great time to add mulch where soil is exposed. It's really important that you don't have exposed soil in this extreme heat. If you put down mulch over this exposed soil, it will help with water retention. It will help keep those roots cooler and is going to help your plant survive. Okay, number 3 on my list is start planning your fall garden. And this is the mode that I am currently in right now. This is where we stay inside. We take photos of our garden now and then sit down and evaluate. So go through your garden, take all the photos, go inside and start evaluating those. Ask yourself, what's thriving? What's struggling? Where are the empty spaces? And what do I need to change for next year? I actually think that summer is one of the best times to actually evaluate your garden. And everything looks beautiful in the spring, right? But summer is the time of the year where things really start to struggle. So it's a really great time to evaluate what's actually not doing well. If a plant has survived weeks of 100-degree temps and droughts, you may want to invest in more of those for the future, knowing that your summer garden is going to look amazing despite the heat. All right, number 4 on my list is start seeds indoors. So just because it's too hot outside doesn't mean we can't start growing. Late summer is a great time to start thinking about plants for fall. Depending on your climate, that might include a variety of things, such as for flowers, you might be working on pansies, starting violas from seed, dianthus, and snapdragon. Those are all on my current list. I've either started them or about to start them. For vegetables, you might be looking at starting broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower, all of those getting started from seed inside so they can be transplanted out in the fall. Perennials are a big one for me. You can also start perennials from seed now. Grow them indoors or in protected conditions until they're ready for fall planting. I probably have about 100 perennials started inside. They're not all for me. A lot of them are for my friend Kristen, but I started a bunch of those perennials from seed, so I'll have nice, big, substantial plants to plant in the fall, and it works great. This is probably my favorite way to feel like I'm gardening when I don't actually want to be outside. Going inside and looking at all the seeds that I have started in this hot weather, knowing that I get to fill my garden with these gorgeous plants later in the fall is so incredibly exciting. And that also ties back into my fall planning. All right, number 5 on my list is propagate your plants. This is another big one that I need to do the month of August. Another fantastic indoor gardening project. You want to go take cuttings early in the morning and bring them inside. Consider propagating things like coleus, hydrangeas, roses, basil, sweet potato vine. There's so many things that you can propagate, and it's so great because it's just free plants. You want to root them indoors where you can control the conditions. And I will have some videos coming up. I'm going to be focusing mainly on hydrangeas and roses. I think I've got a couple of other things on my list. I think I was looking at doing some sedum. Oh, I can't recall. I got several that I was going to work on, but I will be having videos of those coming up so you can follow along. Instead of buying another plant next spring, I can use something I already have to make more plants. And when you're doing that when you're doing that garden planning, you're looking at this summer garden and you're thinking where you have spaces to fill in, going ahead and propagating plants that are looking really good and then having them rooted and ready to go to plant in the fall is just going to make your summer garden beautiful this time next year. All right, number 6 on my list is to save seeds. This is the area where I probably need to do the most improvement because I forget to save seeds. Your garden may already be producing next year's garden and it's producing next year's seeds. Look for mature seed heads from marigolds are a great time to do this. Zinnias, celosia, coneflowers, black-eyed Susan, basil, all of those are having dried seed heads at this time of the year, so you can begin harvesting those seeds. Collect them early in the morning, bring them inside, and sort them in the air conditioning. Don't do all the sorting outside in the heat. Bring it inside, turn on your favorite YouTube gardening channel, and then go ahead and get those sorted. One of my favorite free gardening projects is seed saving because you essentially are shopping your own garden. And this is something I forget to do every stinking year. One of my big goals this year is to save seeds from my black-eyed Susan plants because they are so incredibly productive. They are absolutely beautiful plants, and so I definitely want to replicate those specimens. All right, number 7 on my list is clean and organize your gardening supplies. And this is something I really need to do because if you guys saw my seed starting space and my back patio right now, it's so crazy. Remember all of those nursery pots you've thrown into the corner as you've been planting throughout the spring and the summer? Hey, how are you? Okay, that was my long crew stopping by to ask some questions. All right, so going back, remember in the spring you toss all those nursery pots in the corner, you're going to deal with them? Now's their moment. Now's the time to be dealing with those. Inside or in the garage, you can work on washing out those nursery pots to reuse, organizing seed trays. You can clean your pruners, sharpen tools, organize and take inventory of your fertilizer, organize seeds, label saved seeds. So many things that you can do just for organization, cleaning up, and prepping for your fall garden. This is the stuff I never want to do in the spring because there's always something more exciting happening out in the garden. So once we get to the end of spring into summer, it is chaos in all of my gardening spaces because I've just chunked all my tools and stuff over there. But when it's 103 degrees outside, suddenly organizing seed packets doesn't sound so bad. It's definitely something that I enjoy at that time of year. All right, number 8 on my list is start thinking about fall bulbs. And I will have a video coming up of the bulbs that I am purchasing to be planted in the fall. You don't need to plant anything yet. All you need to do is just start planning and researching, which I think is really fun. Think about tulips, daffodils, allium, Dutch iris, anemones, ranunculus. Think back and look through your pictures in the spring. What was producing well and what was not producing so well and needs to be replaced? Where were there holes that you would like to put some additional bulbs in? Decide, where do you want to put the bulbs? How many do you need? And what colors are you missing if you want to fill in? For me, in spring, I like to have a lot of white and a lot of yellow. So that's what I like to fill back in with. This is where gardening gets dangerous, because now we're sitting inside with air conditioning and access to the internet, and we're ordering and buying all of the things. And so this is why I also think it's really good to refer back to your photos of your garden from the spring, making sure that you're not getting too many bulbs that you don't have a place for. Super important. And like I said, I will have a video coming up of sharing my favorite places where I like to buy bulbs and the plans for the varieties of bulbs that I would like to add to my garden this fall. All right, number 9 on my list is plan fall perennial planting. And I'm already in the throes of that. Fall is one of my favorite times to plant perennials in North Texas. I get the joy of planting them in the fall. They get all winter to build beautiful root systems, and they're bigger and better in the spring, which is so great. Instead of putting a new perennial into 100-degree heat right at this moment, planting in the fall gives it months to establish roots before the following summer. Start making your list now of the different things that you would like to add. And you can decide, am I going to buy those plants? Am I going to order those plants? Or am I going to grow them from seed? Because like I said, you can start a lot of perennials from seed right at this moment. When researching perennials, especially for my particular area, you want to look for things like salvias, nepeta, echinacea, that's my favorite, coreopsis, agastache, rudbeckia. I want to include more rudbeckia in my garden, and ornamental grasses. I'd rather spend August planning where these plants are going than standing outside trying to plant them in basically concrete dry soil and trying to keep them alive. So if I just give myself another 45, 60 days, it'll be the perfect time to plant those. All right, and number 10 on my list, document your garden. So important. This one sounds simple, but it's incredibly valuable. Walking outside early one morning and taking all the photos of your garden. Take photos, take videos of your garden. You want to photograph different things such as entire flower beds so you can see them as one, containers, problem areas that you might be seeing, plants you love, plants you don't love. Document, 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 because if you're like me, I can't remember even half of it, what's going on in my garden. By February, I will absolutely convince myself that I have room for 12 more plants. And if I haven't documented, then I can't look back and tell myself it's not true. You don't have room for those. August photos remind me that I do not have room for that many plants. They also help me remember exactly where dormant perennials are planted, so that come spring, I'm not accidentally digging them up or trying to put a different plant in that location. Documenting your garden is so easy now with smartphones like what we have now, which is lovely. So taking the time to document those, write down notes as needed. It makes it so much easier for when we're buying a lot and planning a lot in January and February. And then finally, maybe do nothing. Maybe you do absolutely nothing for your garden, and it's something that I think is really hard to give yourself permission to do. It's okay to do nothing. Seriously, it's okay to do nothing in your garden. The garden doesn't need us hovering over it every day. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is water it, keep an eye on things, and let it grow or die if it's in my area. So what's the takeaway of what I'm trying to talk to you guys about in today's video? I think we sometimes confuse gardening with constantly doing something. But planting is gardening. Starting seeds is gardening. Saving seeds is gardening. Learning about plants is gardening. And sitting inside with a glass of iced tea while your garden handles the 103 degrees without you, that counts too as gardening. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that those of y'all who are perhaps feeling the same as me, this gives you a few ideas that you can do inside in air conditioning, not out in this triple degree temps. I would love to know what you are doing now for your garden, not necessarily in your garden. Tell me what you're doing inside to garden as opposed to being out in these crazy temps. And if you're like me and you're on a gardening journey and you would like to do that with gardening friends, come join my Patreon community. It is the best group of people. We have so many laughs and so much joy with one another. We typically chat on a daily basis about gardening. We do a live every month where we get together and we talk about what's going on in our gardening and our lives. We share photos, we share advice. It's just a great little community. It's not a big community, it's a small group of people, which I think that that is almost better in situations like that because you really can get to know each other and each other's gardens. All right, you all, as always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.